you explain a little bit more how they're evaluating the actual reading?
Oh, sure.
You said something about having a panel.
Yes.
There's actually going to be human input.
Yes, human input. Every human input. Let's see. Good question. But, okay. So in assessment, there are 6 different criteria. And every criteria in every session in speaking and writing task, there's a human panel to judge. And there will be 2 panels to score at the same time. And if the scores of 2 panels doesn't really agree on, then they have to give them a third panel to give them a regular evaluation. And every time needs have a test, then they will do a training session prior to make a scoring. So then they have to judge and re-evaluate your quality as a referee.
Will the panel come from your school? Or
No, the panels come from every high school in nationwide. They have to take a training session. They have to pass the evaluation test.
they'll do it from online?
They do it online, yes. So it's pretty restricted and very relative, I would say.
Would you restate, like when you said your experience with adults in Canada and how you turn things inside out and you approach from different angle the pictures, and then they would write about their impressions and interpretations
Right.
of the picture, and then they would make a dialogue, like acting, sort of like
Yes.
role play?
Wanted to, okay.
I'm sure I got that right.
Okay. In a typical high school textbook, they were given a task to fill in out the blank from the listening task, right? So we assume the sentence structure is already embedded in the brain of the students. So we don't test them, but we test their listening skills. So I improvise the task into neat writing and speaking. So I present them a picture, right? Like I show you in the first, where is it? Let's see. It's better with a picture. So this is a typical listening task in our textbook, but I improvise this task into writing, then to speaking. The reason I do the writing first is because I want to appreciate their knowledge in grammar, and I don't want them to hurt their self-confidence. So only if when they make a complete sentence structure without grammar errors, then I ask them to make a performance. And probably I have to facilitate the explanation more. When they make a performance in front of the class, they use such and such error sentences, fragment sentence, run-on sentence, or not appropriate word language, because they don't have the sense of language, right? So when I heard it, when I listen, whenever they make errors in the presentation, intonation, or the languages, I correct them on the site. Then the next time they make a better presentation without an error. You know what I mean? So because I teach these students during the regular textbook, which I am supposed to teach English high school textbook rather than conversation book with a native speaker, I have to follow a strict line to follow, like we have to do Unit 4 and next week we have to move on to Unit 5. But then within that criteria, I try to make the best out of it. So then I ask them to make a composition first and then make a dialogue performance. So that way kind of they can satisfy on both sides.
So they see the picture, they make a composition, and then they turn it into a dialogue.
Yes. It's up to them, whatever dialogue they can make.
So you correct the
Yes,
composition.
exactly.
Proper,
Right.
and then they make a dialogue.
Right. In real class, I usually videotape whole session. Then when we have a free time, we watch it together. Then using my electronic board, I make a correction on the grammar or the spelling errors, and then we all can see and we all can learn.
And so just speaking the dialogue, are they allowed to use idioms and expressions? And
It doesn't really matter as long as it's in curricular sequence line.
okay.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry? M2? Sorry, I don't get it.
There was something connected to maybe level or position for information freshman, second year, first year high school, second year high school, third year high school. How is there a leveling system compared to this?
Oh, this level is aimed at first year of high school students.
Does it continue on? Is there a leveling system for that?
Yes, with a full range of vocabulary and extended sentence structure as well.
Can I ask what the leveling of
in typical high school students in Korea. Okay, like Rob Waring presented last time, the first year of high school students are aimed to learn 1,000 words in reading structure. But when they take Sunu, there are more than 25,000 words aimed at. So then students usually learn more than 1,000 words. The problem is within that 1,000 words, there weren't many basic or essential words to use or to make an English conversation daily life. So that's what happens, the error coming from the listening comprehension. They were not able to understand what's going on because they know the more typical words or the advanced level of a vocabulary or sentence structure, but they are not able to sense what's going on in real conversation life, right? So what I'm aiming at, I don't want them to learn or dictate or memorize the word, but then make sense in a real situation. So then that's where my position takes an effect.
How many words are there in nowadays high school classroom?
I believe there are 25 to 34 maximum.
Is it possible for you to put all those areas?
Amazingly, yes, because I divide the groups between probably 5 to 6 members in each group, and I mix one advanced level and one lower level and mixing groups in between, so they can balance it out, and one person can be a mentor role when they have a problem. And during the activity session, I goes around on and make a suggestion and maybe presenting a better idea. So teacher's role is really essential at this point. Yes.
How many simulations have been performed at your testing center?
Sorry?
Your school is the only testing center?
No. There are 25 testing centers nationwide, and there'll be more.
So while I heard your students were not taking the simulation as serious, so I don't know whether we can be sure of the validity of it.
That's the administration work. Yes. As a teacher, I'm only focusing on developing curriculum and what can I do better for the students.
Okay, they judge.
Yes.
They were serious.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I had a question in regards to native English-speaking teachers
Yes.
who are helping Korean high school students
Right.
prepare for the NEET. What websites, textbooks, and other resources are available that have
For the native
suitable
speaker.
amount of information in English so that we can teach properly?
Okay. I'm not sure whether the official NEET website runs the program in English, but you can visit www. Hang on, let me write this down. Can you see from the back? neet.re.kr. This is the official NEET website. And basically, they provide you everything. Textbook, guideline, what they're going to be judged from, and the question format, how it has been developed, what the materials are, what the vocabulary list. And even they provide a e-learning center, I believe is iebs.co.kr. And EBS has been the representative website for Sunu. But then they put right, e-learning for the NEET. So then when you visit two sites, you can download tons of textbook materials, samples, guidelines, evaluation, except rubric. So these are still confidential. So I'm not eligible to speak you in public, but yeah, you may, it's all similar, like IELTS speaking test or the TOEFL speaking test. They are similar using different lines. Like instead of language, they use a lexical. Instead of using grammar, they use sentence structure, such and such, all the same. So
in the final test, they have created a rubric for whether they pass or don't.
yes,
But you don't have access to that.
I do, but I'm not.
Students don't know, so they won't know.
Oh yeah,
to do this.
absolutely,
The
yeah.
rubrics vary so much.
Yeah, but I believe someday they have to, they have to open it somehow, but not right now because they are so curious about like a private institute or like jumping over the market. Oh, this is blue ocean. Let's make money out of it, right? So still keep in the dorm, but yeah. Any more question?
Are they going to be specifically separate raters for each session, writing, speaking.
Yep.
And how many waiters do you see? Or has it been made clear by the ministry how many waiters they're going to hire for this
I don't know.
from high school teachers?
I don't have a statistics for that, but I was approved as an official referee for the NEET level 2 and level 2 and 3 speaking and writing in 2010. That was for the first time. So I believe there were like hundreds of English teachers who were chosen as a referee. But then later, 2011, there were more about 400 and still on progress. They were building more referee because it's like a human input. So it has to be more. And it has to be realistic and relative. That's the big question. We have to put a question mark, but I guess they will do a better job. I hope so. I believe.
Will the students be allowed to repeat their signing up for these needs?
Sorry?
Once or twice a year?
Only once. Oh, they're taking a test. They have a 2 chance to take a test.
Oh, 2 times?
Yes. And they can choose one from, the better one. And the score is efficient for 2 years. Yeah. So the main job and main object why the Ministry of Education developed NEET is public school is to be boomed again, with a minimal help of private institute or private tutoring or the native speaker, but our school is collapsing, for my God. So they want to help and assist public school and public teachers so that we can stand in front of the students proudly. That's the key points.
Yeah, I'm for a revolution.
Oh yeah, it's a revolution, but still in progress though. Yeah, but thank you so much for listening for my lecture presentation. Thank you.